I would say entrepreneurship is more of like an emotional, spiritual journey than it is physical.
Totally.
Per se. So I was thinking like, as you're approaching this like barrier, like those thoughts that you're having, those are thoughts fueled by fear of the unknown. Totally. Right? So it's like, it is the fear barrier. But I think what you said was very interesting is because I had this experience too. So when I'm listening, when I have like all these different kind of voices, once in a while or at the right time, there's this one voice that's like, and it's like, it's not even much of a voice. It's almost like a feeling slash a voice. I call it a feeling. And it's like, you can.
Yeah.
And it's like, as you start tuning to that, then you're kind of breaking through and going through. So when did you like break that fear barrier? And here's the thing, were those fears actually even real? Were they actually justified?
Yeah, well, here's my philosophy on fear as a whole, because I find that so many people experience it in entrepreneurship. It's what stops so many from entering this path in the first place and stops a lot of people from taking their business to that new height. And I've started to just totally shift my relationship with fear. And so instead of it being something I'm trying to avoid or pretend like I don't experience fear, like, hi, I'm human. We all experience this. I've sort of just accepted it as part of the entrepreneurship journey and used it as a really good sign. So if I'm working with a client and I'm like, is there a component of fear to this? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, great, let's lean into it. Because what I know now, I didn't know this at the beginning, but what I know now and can share with other people is fear is a sign that you're going outside of your comfort zone, which is so good.
Yeah.
So why would we try and avoid that? Like, that's actually not the way. Like, instead of leaning back, I'm trying to lean into fear, because I know if I'm going into something that's has a little bit of fear component, I'm growing as a person and I'm doing something I've never done before. And that's a really good sign for entrepreneurs and for businesses. So even just thinking about it, like, I started accepting I'm not gonna not be scared of this. There is going to be fear. I've never launched a company before. I've never done this before. Yeah, it's totally normal to have a little bit of fear. Hello, I'm doing something I've never done before. So even now, just embracing that a bit more rather than trying to be like, no, that scares me, I'm not going there. It's like, that's where you should be going. The goals that scare you, those are the ones that are going to allow you to grow. And also you're going to reap the rewards when you go for those big goals.
So it sounds to me, what you're kind of saying is you change the relationship with fear in terms of like, it's no longer a barrier. It's like a compass.
Totally.
So it's like, if you're good,
yeah,
then you're like, okay, I'm on the right path.
Yeah. And like, if I sometimes find that my clients are playing small and they're too comfortable with their goal, I'm actually leaning into like, how can we stretch this a little bit more so that there is a component of fear to it. Like, you want to feel, again, you don't want to do something that's like scaring you, like you feel unsafe going into it.
Yeah.
But that feeling, that goal that has a bit of a stretch. So if you've never spoken on a stage before and speaking in front of 100 people scares you, yeah, it's probably a good idea to get on a stage.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
if you've never trained for a 5K before and you feel like you want to do it, but you're terrified because you've never done it before, that's a pretty good goal. You're going after something you've never done before. So I love the way you said it. It's a compass, and we want to find where the fear is and actually move towards it, because we know that there's going to be a lot of growth there.
So it's like fear is like the outer boundary of your like experience. What's interesting too is like, because as you move through fear, it's like once you get over that one little thing, it's not that your life is like incrementally 2% better. It's like logarithmically better. It's exponentially better.
Totally. And it ripples.
Yes,
right? Like
yeah.
that one decision that scares you and you make that decision to do that thing. Like for me, leaving my very secure 9-to-5, it was a decision that I overthought for a while. And even though I know I wanted to leave, there was still that fear component. But once I made that decision, it didn't just change that one day or that 1 year for me. Like, look, this is 4 years ago, and now you and I are still talking about it to this day, hoping to inspire other entrepreneurs. So it's the ripple effect that also comes with those big, bold decisions.
Mm-hmm.